What's up, guys? Dave is here with Fight Bananas, and guys, life is hard. Alright, so if you need any help, if you need someone in your corner, hit up my main man, the law offices of Daniel Martinez. Go to www.martinez.law. That's www.martinez.law. And if you want to call him 24 hours a day, here's the number. Put in your iPhone right now. It's 844-523-3733. That's 844-523-3733. Guys, you need someone in your corner in life and also in the cage. Hit up my man, Daniel Martinez, the law offices of Daniel Martinez.
World, what's up, guys? Dave Van Auken, once again, back again on all the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? What a great weekend we just had. Wow. A lot of people can say it was iconic. We'll get into that so much. This show is absolutely packed. I'm jumping on the mic, and I got tons and tons and tons of stuff for you. I think I'm going to try to get the movie about Inside Out. I think I'm going to talk about iced coffee, goats. Of course, we would throw the Last Style Bender in, so we got a lot in. We got a lot of juice. Of course, you guys know if you follow me, I was at iKON 5 this past weekend, live on UFC Fight Pass. A ton of content to get to. Probably going to jump at the end of this episode about it. Roy Jones Jr., Pro Gonzalez, Jason the Kid Knight, so much more. A ton of content there, I promise. Of course, this weekend coming up, Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. We'll probably get to that later in the week. There's just so much to unpack from UFC 259. The guys did a great job. Carrie, Zach, Steve, and of course Aaron the dog. The Fight Bananas recap show was phenomenal. Just listened to that actually on the way into the studio. So kind of really got the juices going. And let's kind of start. Let's go with it. Oh, I got a really good top five. Top five Matchmaker Monday. What matches would I make? If I was the matchmaker, if I was in charge, there's 5 matchups I would get from winners and losers from UFC 259, and this is how I would match it up. We'll do that later as well. But let's kind of get right into it. Let's talk about the movie Inside Out. You guys know this as a father, multiple kids at the house, 8, 4, 1.5, 1.5. So I've seen the movie Inside Out probably around 57, 58 times. And it's a great movie. It's so good. Adults can enjoy it. The kids love it. Girls, boys, it's just awesome. It's great. And about the movie, it's a Pixar movie, and it's about being inside of, a brain of a child. And there's joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. So there's a lot, right? It's all these emotions that we have. And the movie, it's a roller coaster too. There's some funny, of the best moments, highlights, and then there's some wild lows, and there's like sad, bitter moments in this movie. And that was UFC 259. That was it in a nutshell. Watching it, not going to lie, watching it actually with friends and family at the house. That was the first time we've done that since the pandemic, almost a year. So that was pretty damn amazing to do. But it was just this roller coaster. I felt the show started. There's 15 fights, which was incredible, right? And I thought the night started with incredible highs, really cool knockouts, great moments, upsets. Just if you got outside of the world MMA fans and you brought them to watch this show, you would love if they started at the early prelims. That's how good the early prelims were. So I was just a huge fan at the beginning of UFC 259. Then we got into it. I thought the prelims itself were still pretty solid. The performance by Dominic Cruz, and then the roller coaster left turnabout of his call out. We'll get into that probably later as well. All Askarov and beating, Joey B, who I love, man. Just a huge fan of him. And like we said, that's another roller coaster. It's sad to see what's happening to Joey B. That might be it for him, guys. That really might be it. A couple other really cool moments. But we get into this main card, especially the top 3. They're, Santos and Rakic. Hey, it is what it is. Guys, it looks like Santos might have a tough hill to climb. older in his career. The knee surgeries, it's going to be tough for him. It really is. Rakic, he keeps on winning, right? People are kind of really on him, but the man kind of just keeps getting W's, and he's not. Rakic, a football player or a basketball player, doesn't get paid more if they dunk more or get a flashy touchdown. They get paid just to win the game. And, Rakic, what is it, 6 out of 7? Especially in the UFC. Like, he's definitely a problem. He really is, especially 2 in a row, 2 pretty main things. And his only loss was a split decision to Volkov, right? Volkan. So, he's got a future. I'm really intrigued to see who he's going to fight next. He didn't make it into my matchmaking 5, but that's just what it is. Then we get into Islam Makhachev, who defeated Drew Dober, who I thought was phenomenal. Like, he was a highlight of the card, maybe. His performance was just brilliant. He does what he does, and he does it better than anyone else. He's from that Khabib Nurmagomedov tree. And to get a finish in a really crazy arm triangle choke, just hats off to him. He is part of my matchmaking Monday, and we'll kind of get into him later. Then we get into this triple main event. The poster, when you have a main event so high with Izzy, moving up to try to win 2 titles, usually that's the poster. It's Stylebender's the star, and he's trying to do the dare to be great. He's trying to make the big move. But no, this pay-per-view had 6 people on the poster. And we start with Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling, Bantamweight Championship of the World, which in a weird way was the best fight of the night, I thought. I loved the fight. I thought it was great. Sterling probably won the first round, and then second and third, I thought Petr Yan was incredible. I picked Yan right before he went out. He was, if you guys listened all last week, I wasn't sure in this fight. This was one of those 50-50 fights. I couldn't get a grasp. I really thought Sterling had a lot of great momentum, and people I thought were lowballing Yan just because of like his road. But I say this all the time. You guys know this. The man before this was 15-1, and his last loss was in 2016, and it was a split decision. Like, the guy's won 9 straight. And what is this? 6 UFC, 7 UFC, 8 UFC wins. 8 UFC wins in a row. So I like guys like that. I ride them until they lose. I don't know why people jump off of guys like that. I thought he was really turning it up. Round 3 was his round. The most of round 4, he was really defending the takedowns by Sterling. And he was really starting to get aggressive. He was really starting to throw different weapons, not even just the jab or the overhand. Leg kicks were coming heavy. He was throwing these in the clinch. Yan was starting to break Aljamain Sterling. And then we see what we see. We see the knee. The Sterling is down on kind of on all fours or down on his knees, kind of just trying to defend his neck. Doesn't want to get choked out or doesn't want to get demolished. And Yan looks away. Yan looks at Sterling, a knee out of fucking left field. I was like, whoa. Of course, Sterling becomes Forrest Gump. And, just rolling around. And they called the fight. He said he wasn't sure what was going to happen. He thought it was going to be a no contest. As soon as it happened with me, and I know I'm in it, guys. I know I talk about it 3 times a week here on the shows, but I knew he was going to be the champ. That's what happens. If you get disqualified and lose the fight and you're the champion, like if it was a normal fight, you lose the fight. He lost the fight. Like the title goes to the other man. That's just how it happens. So, and first, let's open up that, let's peel that banana, right? I think I like the idea if it was a normal prelim fight on the card, if you knee someone and you get DQ'd, you lose the fight. It shouldn't happen any different if it's on the main event, the main card. If you are the champion and you do that, you should lose the championship. I think you're that high end. I think it's like more responsibilities on you. When I was 19 years old, I can just drive my car and go down to the Key West for 2-3 days. I can't do that now. I got more responsibility on me. I'm higher up on the card. I'm higher up in our family tree. Peter Yan should know better. This is on him. All the responsibility and everything that comes with a loss, he should get. And he did. He lost the title. Dana talked about it afterwards on it's one of those things. Even Sterling knows it's an automatic rematch. It's happening. Maybe soon. I think we got to get Sterling checked. We got to make sure he's okay. Jan looked pretty good after the fight. So I couldn't see why not. For one, it could co-main event one of these big cards coming up, 261, 262. Even, you never know if something happens to Figueiredo or something happens to a Rose Namajunas and like a big title picture gets somehow scrapped, that fight could probably take it over. So it sucked that it happened, but it drew so much attention, and it kind of, people are still talking about it. We're 50 hours past the event. I'm talking about it now on the pod. It's one of the leads. So it is what it is. Sterling, I wanted him to, capture the belt. Of course, we didn't want him to capture it that way. But I think Jan and Sterling, the rematch is going to be money. I think the rivalry, where they can see, they're definitely tweeting back and forth at each other. So it's going to be good. That's going to be something to covet during the summer. And that transitions into the GOAT. That transitions to Amanda Nunes. We talked about it. We have our great fight predictions here. We're about to do a couple more to UFC Vegas 21. We talked about that. We'll do a Bilal Muhammad one. We'll do a Leon Edwards. We might even the Angela Hill, Ashley Yoder. I was trying to create in my head a way that Megan Anderson was going to do something outrageous, right? I was trying to talk it up with people, talk it up with friends. Like I said, I'll get into the whole where I was at in iKON all weekend and people were going back and forth. At the end of the day, everyone got to the same conclusion. Amanda Nunes is the greatest female fighter in the history of the sport. .com. The end. In conclusion, it's over. She's the best. There's no one close to her. There's just how she wins. It's a part of it. She doesn't just, unanimous decision 20 in a row. It's how she's doing this. Okay, let's go down this road. Right here. The beginning. UFC Fight Night 62, 2015. Shayna Baszler, Sarah McMahon, Valentina Shevchenko. That was before Valentina Shevchenko was her. That was UFC 196. Isn't that crazy? McGregor Diaz. Miesha Tate, main event, UFC 200. She won rear naked choke, right through Miesha Tate. Butter, hot knife, you get it. Then, it was 7 months. 5 months later, it was UFC 207 versus Ronda Rousey. We all know what that happened. Ronda Rousey has never fought again since. Hot butter, knife, same analogy. Then we go to Valentina Shevchenko because we know how great she is, and she won split decision. She even headlined that show. Headlines another show versus Raquel Pennington. A 5th round finish, which I love. She knows she's ahead, still wants to get the finish. Then maybe it's her brightest moment ever. Chris Cyborg. Everyone thought Cyborg was the best female fighter of all time before Amanda. Round 1, 51 seconds into it. Bing, bang, boom. It's over. I think the GOAT status, I thought right then in 2018 was put on her. And then she goes Holly Holm with a head kick. GDR unanimous decision. A lot about grappling. Felicia Spencer, unanimous decision, UFC 250. So now she's headlined UFC 200 and headlined UFC 250. You know me, I'm a numbers guy. I love that shit. And then we saw what she did, and maybe the biggest card so far this year, UFC 259, inverted armbar triangle to Megan Anderson. Incredible. Just incredible. And then, so that's kind of, I want to talk about it because you guys have wanted to talk about it. So I put up a post right away that night, and all I heard was all these pre-qualifiers by all the reporters, social media, MMA media members, people on ESPN that night. She is the greatest female ever, the best female ever, the female GOAT. As a man, I'm just going to be blunt with you guys, especially with having $2 of my own. Let's kill that qualifier. Why is she the greatest female fighter ever? I just think she's the greatest fighter ever. I know there's Jones and GSP and Habib and Mighty Mouse, and I think she has now absolutely inserted herself into that conversation. Everyone says, I keep on hearing, this is the number one thing I always hear, is the competition. She doesn't fight, the other guys are better and they fight better guys. For one, look at Mighty Mouse's lineup. We look back at it. John Jones had a great run at the beginning. Look at John Jones' last 5 or 6. Look at him. Guys, I just went through the list. I don't want to name them all again, but if you think the Mount Rushmore of female fighters, there's Cyborg, Rousey, Tate, Shevchenko, Holly Holm. Like, these are all this. And then the ones that she, you might think, maybe Megan Anderson's not an all-timer. Maybe, Pennington's not an all-timer. She stops them. And that's one thing I absolutely love. That's the cherry. That's the icing on Amanda Nunes' MMA profile, her lineup, her career. She puts people out. And then, of course, it's a podcast, so we can talk about whatever the hell we want. How cool was it with her daughter, her family, right? I just thought the moment was amazing. Amanda Nunes, the baby's there, her Amanda's wife is there, just the team around her, just an absolute stunning moment at UFC 259. Amanda Nunes, first round, just killage of Megan Anderson. All right, that transitions us into the main event. The Izzy, the last style bender, Israel Adesanya moving up to light heavyweight. The Polish power, Jan Blachowicz, and the kind of the tagline, and Izzy said it a lot after the show, was dare to be great. I'm going to get into the scorecards in a second. I thought the fight was good. I thought I don't mind going to a decision sometimes. That's life. You have 2 of the top 10 best fighters in the world, 2 of the top 20 best fighters in the world. Sometimes it is a close match. It's almost a stalemate of sorts, right? I thought Izzy was going to get the job done. I was wrong. Jan was just big, just too powerful, too big. The wrestle, especially in the later rounds, really came through. I don't think Izzy, I can wrestle with my kids for 4 hours because they're 35 pounds and I can just kind of throw them around only using 25% of my strength. But when my kids wrestle with me, they go hard for 30 minutes and then they're done. They're pooped. That's one reason why I do it. Then they just watch Inside Out on Disney Plus. They got nothing left. And I think with Israel Adesanya, Jan was just so big and he was throwing, his shots were so hard and so heavy. I don't think he had anything left. The last rounds, he just looked really, really depleted. Really, really no more juice, no more life in him. So, it is what it is. And real quick, so before the score, let me go back to Jan real quick. So everyone keeps on throwing that out there. The 2-4 start, almost cut. Let's get over that for a second. It started in 2017. Man, the man's been on a tear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's won 9 out of his last 10. So let's kind of get over that he's this not qualified underdog, really not a champ. Like 9 out of 10 wins in kind of UFC's most marketable division for the last 15 years with Chuck Liddell's, Randy Couture's, John Jones, Sugar Rashad Evans. There's been some just really high-end fighters. And then, guys, he's beat Kinnear, Rockholtz, Jacare, Corey, Dominic, and now Izzy. Like, the man's got a lineup of his own. What does it do for Jan going forward? It makes him a star. It really does. I think globally it makes him a star. He has Izzy's respect. I think his next fight, and I will get into it in the matchmaking, will have to be a huge main event, and I think it will be a really, really big spot. I think whose fight has been on a tear. Jan is now a superstar, and I think it's crazy. I think his next fight, and if he wins that, he has a shot to really, really put some steam towards the ladder of his career, and the man deserves it. So, okay, the scoring. Let's get into this, and I think, I love it. I love analogies. It's kind of what I do. And I love this one when I heard that Dana White was talking about it, and I guess the last 2 rounds, and especially round 5, all 3 judges had it 10-8. And you guys know we're 380 episodes of my own. We've got 30 episodes of the Cat Nelson Show, 10 of the Fight Bananas recap show. Aaron the dog's been breaking it down for 30 episodes. There's over 500 podcasts on this thread that you're listening to. Over 500. We've been about MMA scoreboards. We've been about just tons of threads on the show. And one of, especially of mine, I've been really adamant about 10-8 rounds. All rounds shouldn't be scored equal. If you barely win a round and then the next round you absolutely dominate and a ref could have stopped it 3 times, you're like, sometimes I don't mind the ref giving it a little bit extra, especially in a big match like that. But if he doesn't, that could be a 10-8 round, and I don't mind it at all. But what we saw there, Izzy versus Jan, there was no 10-8s. None at all. The last round, Izzy was up for 2 minutes, and then maybe was winning the first 2 minutes, and then he was down, losing the last 3, but I never felt once that he was compromised. I never felt once that they should have ended the fight. That's a 10-8. So the 10-8, and here's the analogy I'm giving to you guys. I love iced coffee. You know that. I'm drinking 3 cups a day. But I'm not drinking an iced coffee at 10:30. There's a time for it. Gets me in the morning, maybe right afternoon or maybe right before noon. And then sometimes that 4:30. Going to go get the kids. We got homework. We got 2 showers. We got 2 baths. We got laundry, dinner, trash. I got stuff to, go over social media and get ready for the next day. I know it's going to be 11:30. I want them to give 10-8, and I want to have iced coffee, but you can't just give 10-8s out there for free, and I don't want to drink iced coffee at 11 o'clock at night. So there we go. There was the UFC 259. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to do the top 5 matchmaking, and let's see if we have a little surprise for you at the end of the episode. Oh, and I got to go down. I got to give you my iconic weekend. I was live in Biloxi, Mississippi, iKON 5 on UFC Fight Pass. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, matchmaking Monday. Let's go. Let's get it. All right, here we go. Let's go. I'm going to go number 5, work our way back to the number 1 fight that has to be made after UFC 259. Let's start with number 5. Amanda Nunes. We got to get her back. We got to get her quickly. Let's get her going. Let's have her defend the title. 2021 might be Amanda Nunes' year. Featherweight championship can't be it. There's no one right now in line. We got Felicia and Danielle Wolf coming up in 6 weeks. So she has to defend her bantamweight championship of this world. And of course, the popular name right now is Juan Pena. No. I'm not going that route. I think I'm taking one at a left field. I'm going to match up Amanda Nunes versus Aspen Ladd. I like this matchup a lot. I definitely think Aspen can bring something else to the table. I think she's a big bantamweight. There's just something there about Aspen and the momentum she has. Hey, Amanda's the GOAT. She has to be the huge favorite, but I like it. I think it's good for the poster. I got Nunes versus Ladd. All right, number 4, Islam Makhachev. The man is just on a roll, 19-1. We got to give him a top 5, top 10 lightweight, one of the best divisions in all of the UFC. A lot of names to choose here, and a lot of people. I put this out there on social media platforms already, and there's already been a lot of backwards buzz. I like this one a lot, though. I'm sticking with my guns. I'm matching up Makhachev versus Charles Charlie Olives. And a lot of people think he should go against a Kevin Lee or he should go against a Gregor Gillespie. I don't know. I'm not with that. And also, I think Charles Oliveira, guys, he's not getting booked in that top 4. We're going to see Dustin and Conor again. I think, you might see Gaethje versus Oliveira. Then maybe this might be a Chandler spot. But I think that we're going to see Gaethje versus Chandler. And then this is where Oliveira needs a dancing partner. And I'm tired of all the 8 wins. Guys, look at every win is weighted differently. Habib is a part of Islam's corner. He's got juice. Come on. There's a lot of Nick Lentz and Jim Millers and Clay Guidas in there. I'm just going to be honest. And his biggest win is someone if you listen to this show, I'm not a fan of Ferg. I think Charles Oliveira needs it almost as much as Makhachev. So number 4, Islam Makhachev versus Charlie Oliveira. Number 3, the easiest match. Won't waste a lot of your time on it. Automatic rematch. Let's get it booked quickly. Jan versus Sterling. Sterling's the bantamweight champion. Rematch. Book it. All right. Number 2. Israel Adesanya. We got to get him going. One of the brightest stars in the UFC. He has to defend. He has to go back to middleweight, defend the title. Multiple matchups, multiple guys out there. Marvin's kind of being talkative. I would love to see the Darren Till Izzy one day. I just don't think it's right. It's weird. I don't know why. I just think that one needs a little bit more time to bake and a little bit more just like Till. I need Till 1 or 2 more wins. And then I think the people will really crave that matchup. To me, this is easy. ABC, we're a month away. Whitaker versus Costa. Whitaker was the champion when he fought and lost to Izzy. We all know Costa's story. If he doesn't drink, he's undefeated. Whoever wins that matchup, especially if we see a knockout, we see someone really stand up, 50-45, 50-44s. Izzy versus the winner of Whitaker versus Costa. That's number 2. And number 1, the matchup has to be made if I'm in the UFC brass and we walk in Tuesday for matchmaking, and this is out of all the fighters at UFC 259, this is the one. Jan Blachowicz, the star of the show, the Polish power, the light heavyweight champion. No one deserves it more than Glover Teixeira. The man has been in the UFC for over a decade now. The man is just one of those legendary fighters. The man has just done it all. The only thing he hasn't done is been champion. He's fought John Jones for the title, went all 5 rounds. Hell of a war back in Baltimore years and years ago. I kind of want to look that up. It seems like it was forever ago, right? I just think Glover's done enough. Glover's on a roll right now. I can't wait to see that fight. And Glover was the backup, made weight, got some money, but I think he was there. He was there live, so he saw what Jan can do, and that is the fight in main events. We're at 259, so what? 265, 264, somewhere in there. End of the summer. How about in August, September, if you want to give more time. Number 1 matchup to be made after UFC 259: Jan Blachowicz versus the great Glover Teixeira.
Big shout out right now to our gang, our crew from Rude Venice. Hit them up on the IG at Rude Venice. Man, they sponsor so many combat sports athletes. They're in gyms. They're on the mats of some of the biggest shows on this planet. Guys, hit up Rude Venice on IG. I love the hoodie. Make sure you go get it. Website, brand new website, launching really, really soon. Check out our fam right there on Rude Venice on IG. Dave from Fight Bananas sent you. So much more. All right, guys, here we go. We're closing down the show with my recap of iKON 5 and a story with Roy Jones Jr., Pearl Gonzalez, Dean Toole, and myself. There you go. That's called a teaser.
All right, we're going to close down the show with story time right now. So I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. UFC Fight Pass Friday night. Wow. Friday and Thursday. Thursday was Roy Jones Jr. boxing, and then Friday was iKON. So let's kind of stick with Thursday. Let's start with there. For one, it was an incredible, both events. Biloxi, Mississippi, beautiful arena. The Civic Center over there, if you guys have a chance, if you're in that Panhandle or the Southeast and you can make it out there, really, really nice venue. Cool, great show. So Thursday night, the Roy Jones Jr. boxing show is happening, and there was kind of like a little break, right? and Pearl Gonzalez was with, she does the commentary with TJ DeSantis for iKON on the next night. So they were there, they were getting some prep work done, and they were kind of talking to the fighters for iKON, and that's how they do their research and figure out what kind of storylines they want to talk about and records and how is training going. So Pearl was in the building. We're kind of sitting in the back, some of, people working for iKON and, just talking about MMA and just watching the show, kind of almost in a weird way enjoying it, right? Because fight night, it's so much is going on. It's kind of too much is going on. You really sometimes don't enjoy the fights because you're working it. You're working the show. So we're back there. We're talking with Pearl. Big news soon from Mrs. Pearl Gonzalez. Not allowed to break it. We will break it soon. Well, I would say within 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, we're going to throw it out there. Not right now. So she just, as a combat sports fan and as a longtime boxing fan, of course, Roy Jones is in the building, and she was admired or just kind of wanted to, gather thoughts from Roy and just kind of talk shop, right? Like he's I think you can't argue. Top 5, top 3, I think he's the greatest boxer ever to live. So, Dean Toole, the matchmaker for iKON Fighting Federation, is great friends with Roy Jones. So he matchmakes iKON. He's, got Pearl her gig, and he's great friends with Roy. So they're like, yeah, if you want to talk to him about boxing and learn something, let's kind of get it together. Roy Jones, the absolute fucking stud that he is, says, hey, we got gloves here. I can hold some pads. There's nothing better to learn than to do it. I'll teach you while you're hitting the pads. And Pearl Gonzalez was like, are you fucking kidding me? So, Cloud 9 moment for Pearl. So she's about to go in kind of the backstage in the locker room area. Like I said, most of the boxing fights are done, so there's like more locker rooms open. And, Pearl's been on the show before, met her multiple times, just a kick-ass person, and she kind of knows what I do. So she goes, and also very trustworthy, very loyal. She goes, will you come back here and kind of record it, take pictures, kind of document this? So, I can throw some stuff out there. I can watch myself, and, I trust that you won't, leak any of the pictures without me knowing, that kind of thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course, that would be amazing. So, in our room at Roy Jones Jr. Boxing, live on UFC Fight Pass, is Roy Jones Jr., Pearl Gonzalez, Dean Toole, and myself. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, I still sometimes pinch myself, and I wrote that on Facebook when I had the picture of them three. It was a pinch myself moment. It's like, how in the hell did I end up in this room? And I'm telling you, with all the memories and fun stories and all these back stories that I've been getting throughout the years, definitely in the top 3. It was amazing. It was incredible to watch Roy do what he does. Teaching Pearl, I was totally so uberly shocked by Pearl Gonzalez's, how fast she got it, how fast she understood, how nice she was, almost like how she wanted to be taught and taught hard. She wanted to learn from the greatest boxer ever, and her movement, and her feet, and her hands. I was like, holy shit! Like, I have a newfound respect for Pearl Gonzalez. So they do their thing. Well, there's videos up on Fight Bananas, videos up on mine, David Van Auken. Pearl's put one out. Roy shared it. It's out there. Not all of them. I still got 30 of them on my phone. It was incredible. I got every single thing on my phone still to this day. But here's the best thing. So they work out for 20 minutes. She's hitting pads, working on the footwork, and Roy's talking her through it. And then it's over. They're both sweating, and they both kind of went through a workout. And that's when the magic happens. Roy Jones Jr. starts kind of talking to Pearl, and then almost kind of, I know it sounds crazy in a way, he's talking to me. Because Pearl's kind of, passing out a little, just tired of the workout. She's taking off the gloves, all this. And I'm like, I'm sucked into this conversation. I'm like, I'm all in. And he's just dropping bombs of wisdom, just clusters of information and theories and why he used to do the things he did, and talking about the jab and this and all about footwork. And I won't go into everything he said because I feel like it was a private, precious moment. But just, you have Roy Jones Jr. giving out his secrets to the theory of boxing for 5 or 7, 10 minutes. It was incredible, priceless, just this moment that I have. Hey, I got it tucked in my MMA bank forever. And just like the movie Inside Out, once again, it goes one of those like top 5 moments of all time. Like, boom, a new ball comes, and it's one of those core memories that I got. And it is. It's a core memory. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Pearl. I had to send pictures over, so I maybe got numbers that I don't think I would have had. So maybe Roy, maybe we'll talk very, very soon. Later, guys. Hey, make sure you keep on subscribing, liking the podcast, share, rate us 5 stars, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of things are in the works. So much is going on. Oh, gosh. I didn't even break it down. Let's go iKON 5. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm here. iKON 5, live on UFC Fight Pass the next night. Incredible show. 8 fights on the card. 4 female fights on the card. Just absolute bananas. 3 main things I want to take from it. First, 2 females made their debut. Macy Bro, Griffin Fisk. They fought girls that been around the game longer, and maybe even just like better all-around girls and better coaches. Just, they fought tough fights. But both Griffin and Macy won their debut, both first-round finishes, both in really like highlight moment type of fights. Big ups, like huge. I thought Griffin Fisk maybe was the star of the night. Huge future for Griffin. Macy did her thing. Just big ups to both of them. Macy Bro, Griffin Fisk, put those girls' names on your radar. Number 2, AJ Fletcher. 7-0 now. Keep him on your radar. If you don't see him on the Contender Series in June, he might get a short notice fight beforehand. AJ Fletcher, an absolute stud. Goes right into the main event. Mostly we're going to go with Jason Knight, but I do want to get this off my chest. Cliff Wright Jr. fought the main event of iKON 1 and now is in the main event of iKON 5. He fought Kasan Askavov and Jason Knight. Both men, when it's all said and done, will have more than 20 wins in their UFC career, respectively. 2 studs. Cliff Wright Jr. fought them both. The second one was on 4 days' notice. Cliff Wright is a freaking G. Much respect to him. And, dude, he gave Jason Knight everything he could handle. Jason Knight had a huge following. He's from the Mississippi area. The walkout song was amazing. I had goosebumps with him coming out with his family and friends. His kids were there. Jason Knight had a nice overhand right to start the fight. Used the ground game to get a submission in the second round, towards the late in the second round. Won via rear naked choke. The place went crazy. In his corner, Tyler Hill, Alan Belcher, great job coaching him up. I thought it was phenomenal. Jason Knight, the winner of the main event of iKON 5. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk with him soon and talk about him a lot more coming up soon. Big things for Jason the Kid Knight. So there we go. There's the iKON 5. So much out there. So many people, man. It was just great times. Just unbelievable group of people working the show. Our girls, Tally Payne and Carson Nash, they came through. Big, always love hanging out with them and talking with them. Pearl Gonzalez is a G. All the fighters were awesome. We talked with Griffin Fisk a lot that night. AJ Fletcher's the man. Big shout outs to my girl K-Rock. Nothing but love for her. Just a huge stack show. So great a night, and I can't wait for iKON 6. More events in iKON 7. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But we got big announcements coming up for fight announcements. We have big announcements coming up here for Fight Bananas. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to tell you or reveal. Yeah, reveal what we got in the works But download, subscribe to the podcast, rate 5 stars on Apple, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Next, I'm gonna talk to you more later in the week. I'm gonna get Aaron the dog. His breakdown shows Thursday night. The Cat Nelson show, that's Thursday night. Of course, the Fight Bananas recap shows after Saturday night fights. So we got a lot of content towards the end of the week. I'll talk to you guys one more time before the weekend's over. So be safe out there. Man, we'll talk to everyone soon. Just a great time right now in the sports. Be a fan of mixed martial arts. All right, guys, be good.